guys, welcome back to the vlog. Today's video, I just wanted to talk about the science a little bit behind what's going on with me to help you guys maybe better understand what you're going through and to help kind of piece together all these different things I've been talking about lately. Bile, reflux, gastritis, SIBO, they are all connected. One thing affects the other directly. So I just wanted to kind of give you the science that has really helped me understand what's going on and help me find a path to healing. So essentially, back when I, first started experiencing gastritis symptoms in 2023, that came on because of alcohol and stress. I think that combination did a number on my stomach, and the gastritis over time slowed down motility, which led to food kind of sitting longer, food being undigested in the gut, also being on PPIs off and on for 6 months to a year. I can't remember exactly. I was on PPIs and I was on Pepcid, which is also an acid reducer. So that low stomach acid makes it, one, a very hospitable environment for bacteria to thrive, and two, makes it so that food doesn't fully digest and it can kind of ferment and sit in the GI tract for longer than it needs to, which causes bacteria to thrive again. And it causes gases also to kind of push up through that tunnel from your small intestine into your stomach, which leads to those symptoms: reflux, burning, all that discomfort. The bile reflux piece. Bile reflux, if you don't know, is basically when bile that comes from your gallbladder, it's supposed to go down straight into the small intestine, but it comes back up into the stomach. Bile is extremely irritating to the stomach. Even on a healthy stomach, bile should never be in the stomach. When you have gastritis and bile comes in, it makes the gastritis even worse because bile is extremely corrosive. That's why when I talk about the supplements I take, I mention phosphatidylcholine. This is a particular supplement that helps the bile stop being so corrosive. So it is not as damaging to the gastritis and it can help it heal. However, what is causing that pressure and gas building that is opening the pyloric valve between the small intestine and the stomach? What is allowing the bile to come back into the stomach? That's where SIBO comes in. So because of gastritis and because of slowed motility, because of months on and off of acid reducers, SIBO developed in my small intestine, which increases pressure and gas in the small intestine, which pushes up against that pyloric valve that's supposed to stay closed between the stomach and the small intestine, so bile comes back up into the stomach. And this, my friends, is why it's taken me so long to heal, because my stomach hasn't had a break from the bile coming back up. Did that make sense? I feel like it's a lot, and it took me a long time to really piece the puzzle together. This is only from my own experience and the things I've read, but this is what seems to make the most sense to me. So I hope it makes sense to you, but if you have questions, let me know. I do just want to say, this is fully my experience and not everything I'm experiencing is going to be your case, but it is worth it to look into those other issues, bile reflux and SIBO. If you have gastritis that's kind of not going away despite being on a restrictive diet long term, taking care of your mental health, doing all the right supplements and all the right things. If you're experiencing gastritis that's just not going away, look into these other two things. But yeah, that's my little summary in a nutshell. I hope this helps. Enjoy the rest of the vlog. Guys, so little update. I am on day 7 out of 14 on treating the SIBO. I started rifaximin 7 days ago, and at first it was really chill, no changes, it didn't bother my stomach in any way. Rifaximin is different from a lot of other antibiotics in that it's localized. It doesn't really affect the whole body. It just really targets the SIBO, which is great. So it doesn't harm your gut in the same way that other antibiotics do. So if you're worried about taking it for that reason, just know that it's much more mild. However, the die-off symptoms, as it's called, basically the SIBO that's dying as I'm taking the antibiotics, is causing a reaction in me. It's normal, but it's just very intense. It's a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be. And the first like couple days I was fine, and then on day like 4 and 5 I started feeling like I was sick, like I had the flu or something, just really tired and fatigued, zero energy. And it also disrupted my cycle. I was supposed to have my period, but I haven't yet. I'm not pregnant. So that was just a little something that I wanted to mention too. And then it has been causing a little bit of nighttime disruption. Like I will go lay down in bed and then I'll just feel like this pressure. It's like I'm being squeezed. It's not pleasant, I have to say. I really, really am hopeful that it's killing the SIBO and that this can help me heal fully, but it's not fun. So apparently the way it works is like it gets worse until day 7 or 8 and then it starts tapering off again. So I'm hoping that I'm past the worst of it, but I'll keep you posted as it keeps going on. But just wanted to share. I'm not trying to scare people about it, but I do just want to talk about it because it's something to know if you're going into SIBO treatment, just to prepare yourself for. It's not super easy. Hi guys, so it is officially my last day taking antibiotics to kill the SIBO in my stomach. Sounds very intense. And I know there's a lot of fear about antibiotics when you have gastritis and the implications of what they can do to your gut. And there is always a risk with taking antibiotics. The particular ones I was prescribed, rifaximin, tend to be gentler on the gut, and they're more localized, so they don't really go into the bloodstream. They don't affect the whole body, they just really target the gut. Now, with any antibiotic, they do eliminate all bacteria, including good bacteria, so my stomach is extra sensitive for the next few weeks. So with that, I'm gonna be a little bit cautious about the things I'm eating. I'm gonna stick to a pretty restrictive diet for the next 4 weeks or so, gradually introducing things on a week-by-week basis. I haven't been super strict up until this point, so I have a little bit more flexibility already. I've been able to tolerate foods, minimal flare-ups, and symptoms have been pretty manageable. So I feel happy about that. If you're also about to take rifaximin for anything for SIBO, just know that, at least in my experience, it was pretty rough around day 7, 8, because it just felt like I had the flu. I was so exhausted, so tired. So I was just like working from the couch all day and I felt like I could not move. And I also had a lot of body aches and stiffness in my joints, and I didn't realize that it could be the antibiotics. I was dealing with that for a few days and I thought like I pulled something in the gym or I don't know, did something carelessly, but I think it was just the antibiotics just taking the toll. So yeah, that is worth mentioning. Those are my experiences. That won't necessarily be the exact same experience for you if you're trying them, but I just wanted to put that out there just to share that it was overall manageable. Like I didn't feel nauseous or anything with the antibiotics. I always took them with food. I kept a gentle diet the whole time just to be really cautious, and I'm going out of this really focused on improving motility to keep things moving, because the stagnation and the slow motility can be a reason why you relapse back and the SIBO can grow again. So I'm really focused on keeping the motility strong. It's been better. And yeah, I think I am set up for success if I just keep at it and don't introduce a bunch of new foods too early, which I feel confident that I can do. That's kind of my bread and butter with, the work I do when I help people with their own gut issues. So I'm just taking my own advice and taking it really slow and steady during these next few weeks. I do have a bit of travel coming up, as always. Next week we're going to Venice. My husband has a photo gallery exhibition and I'm so excited for him. I think that will be amazing. But I gotta be a little careful. Obviously Venice is, I don't know, it's hit or miss. A lot of the food is kind of fish and potatoes, which can be pretty easy on the stomach. So we'll see. I'll take you guys along and show you what I end up eating and what we're doing. So yeah, that's the update. I take my last pill tonight with dinner and then I'm done. And fingers crossed that this is what puts me on the right path to actually being able to finally heal the gastritis. Fingers crossed.